Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk, an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. We're presented by YES Realty Partners. The Friday show, a fantastic one. We like to have fun on Fridays, get you ready for the weekend. We bring entertainment and education in an approachable fashion here on Real Talk. We'll give some love to Interstate Service Company for being a part of the show, a home's best friend, Interstate Service Company. Judah Wickower is our director. My friend, if you could go to the studio camera and welcome a distinguished group of people, along with the distinguished gentleman.
Well, good pivot.
Keith Smith.
We have fun on Tuesdays, by the way.
We have fun every time. every time. Keith Smith, Yonna Smith,
Good morning.
And our friend, Millie Winstead.
Good morning. Good morning.
The Director of Development for Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. How are you?
I am well. It is a beautiful Friday. I'm looking forward to a great weekend, and just really grateful to be here with you guys.
So, Millie, tell us who you are, where you're from, and then we'll kind of get into the Blue Ridge Bank. But tell us about you a little bit.
All right. Well, let's see. A long time ago. I am a native Virginian, born and raised in Northern Virginia. Moved to the Charlottesville area about 25 years ago. Loved it, raised my two children here, and proud to call it home. It's just a great city, a great area. You know, Virginia, I think it's hard to beat the beauty that we have here.
Oh, yeah.
So
Absolutely.
glad to be a part of it, and glad to be a part of this community in particular.
It's part of the reason why we're constantly in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
Yeah, well.
You know, and all.
Well done, Millie.
It was all you, right?
Right.
Oh, that's right. So for those who do not know anything about the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank, let's start there and tell us, give us the who, what, when, and where, and the nitty gritty, and then we'll kind of get into some details.
All right, absolutely. So, I think a lot of people are surprised when they really learn about the food bank. Many wonderful people are helping out in the community by maybe their church has a food pantry or they're providing meals the second Tuesday of every month or whatever, and they call that program a food bank, and that is absolutely fine. There's a slight difference though. The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank is actually one of 200 food banks across the country. We are part of Feeding America, which is a national network of food banks. A really cool fact is every zip code in our United States, including Alaska, Hawaii, is covered by the services of a food bank. And so that's a network, and every food bank works through a network system as well. So we here in the Blue Ridge area, we work in 25 counties and 8 cities. So we cover almost a third of the state that we are providing these services to.
The Blue Ridge?
The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank,
wow,
yes.
I did not know that.
There are 7 food banks in in the Federation of Food Banks in the Commonwealth. We happen to have one of the largest footprints serving, as I said, 25 counties, 8 cities. Basically, we straddle the Blue Ridge Mountains north to south. And so how do we reach all of that area and all of the people that need the help that we provide? And that's through our network. We work with about a little over 200 partner pantries. And those are pantries, shelters, soup kitchens, other programmatic sites where they're in the neighborhood, they're in the community, and they're the front line of what we do. So we are providing oversight, well, first and foremost, the food that they provide, but oversight and safety measures. And this year, because of the incredible community support, the way this community has rallied behind those that are dealing with food insecurity, we have been able to increase a program that we have internally called our Agency Capacity Fund. It's been 5 years in the running, and we've provided everything from pallet jacks to shelving to refrigerators and freezers for our partner pantries on the front line so they can provide more food. Well, this year we were able to provide so much more: trucks, vans. Some of them are expanding their buildings, and so we're helping with their capital campaigns. One that most people around here are familiar with is Loaves and Fishes.
Yes.
They are our largest partner here in the Charlottesville area. And, the demand has been such, they have needed to expand for a while now. So we were able to help them with that.
So Jerry and I love numbers.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
And
I've got lots of
unfortunately,
them.
these are not good numbers.
Yeah.
Right? I was just reading, the Thomas Jefferson area branch was the Charlottesville branch. 22,860 people are served each month.
Each month.
Wow.
Exactly.
I don't, and that's part of why I wanted to bring you on. I don't think people really realize this.
No.
That's just a huge number. How many?
300,000 people in Central Virginia. Less than 50,000 people in the city of Charlottesville.
So
that's
that's
a nice
half.
chunk of Central Virginia right there.
That's a huge
Exactly.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is across our whole Commonwealth, 1 in 12, that's probably underreported, really, but 1 in 12 are suffering from food insecurity. And when you look at children, that ratio, unfortunately, is worse. And so that is one of the target populations that we have. We really work to help our children because, their bodies are growing, their minds are growing, and they can't concentrate and do what they need to do without the proper nutrition. And then, of course, what this past year and a half highlighted for a lot of people that if they didn't realize is our seniors and the needs that they have. They were hit particularly hard during COVID, and so that's another target area, which is our fastest growing population.
So that is your fastest growing population?
Fastest growing population that we serve, absolutely.
So one of the reasons I asked Yonna to come in here, not to talk about real estate, but Yonna is actually active in the Flavana chapter. And,
Yes,
and
and
I
has
would
been
love,
for quite many
Yonna,
years,
would you
yeah.
tell, because the stories she tells when she goes out and helps, and the lines of people is just pretty awe-inspiring.
It's pretty staggering, like what you have mentioned. I mean, it's all demographics
Yeah.
of life that actually need to be, coming by and picking up some foods, and it's humbling. It really is. I've been fortunate that I was able to help out in Flavana County, in Buckingham County, and somewhat in the really rural areas. And I got involved with this through a previous consulting job that I was responsible for their fundraising, and I said, well, let's find something that is really locally, centrally located, and where we can make really an impact. And I started this in 2008. So and it's been every year. It's just so much confirming the fact that we need to do more. It's not, and hunger doesn't stop because it's summer. Hunger doesn't stop because it's Christmas. This is continuum. And what I'm hearing, and the numbers that are published, I mean, it's getting not really any better, is it?
So when we started, the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank was established in 1981.
Okay.
So this year we're actually marking our 40th anniversary.
Congratulations, bravo.
Well, we'd love to put ourselves out of business, of course, but unfortunately, as you've pointed out, we're not. And so the numbers that some of the numbers you're quoting, pre-pandemic, we were serving in the area of across our entire service area, about 105,000 people every single month. In May of last year, at the height of the pandemic, then it jumped just in 2 or 3 months from 105 to 146,000.
Wow.
And so now, yes, we don't know where we are in this pandemic anymore, but felt like we're starting to come out of it, at least on the medical side. We have vaccinations available to everybody, and a lot of people are getting them. Thank the Lord. But what has happened, though, is there is the economic impact of this, and that's going to be with us for a long time, and that's what the food bank is planning for now. So those pre-pandemic numbers, as I shared, 105, then a pop to 146. We're not at 146 anymore, or around 120, but that's not pre-pandemic numbers.
Yeah, sure.
So we're still serving more people than we have previous, and we don't know exactly what's on the horizon, right? So we're planning for it. And again, as I was sharing, part of doing that was using this agency capacity fund to help, shore up our partners and build their capacity so that they are ready, being on the front lines to serve whoever needs it, where they need it, when they need it, how they need it.
So we just love to have fun on the show, but this is a serious topic, right?
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
really hard to take a serious topic like that and twist it into what we call our Batman and Robin routine. But I was just looking at the footprint that you guys have is huge. It's 25 counties, 8 cities. You do Charlottesville, Winchester, Verona. These are your hubs. And then Lynchburg. That's a huge footprint. And that's that number of 120 some odd thousand people, thank you, are in that footprint that we're talking
In that
about.
footprint.
Wow.
And again, that's just part of the Commonwealth. We've got 6 sister food banks, we call them, that are serving the rest of our wonderful Commonwealth, and their numbers are just as high.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, okay. So let me lighten it up a little bit. I'll share with you a story, because I've got plenty of numbers I can throw at you guys, and
I think we did enough of that. I
You've
think
got positive results too that we can highlight.
We do, but the thing is that what I love to point out is that the people that we're serving are not numbers. They're people, and so we need to all remember that. These are our neighbors, and I can share with you happy and semi, maybe not as happy stories, but one that I love is, you mentioned Buckingham County. So one of the programs that we have to make sure that we're reaching our rural neighbors that may not have a pantry that's within, driving distance or within ease for them to reach. So we have a mobile food pantry. This is, as it sounds, it is a refurbished truck, and it goes out into these rural areas, and we're providing proteins and fresh produce to these families. And our largest one is in Buckingham County, right in downtown Dillon. Anyway, there was this wonderful family, and this is before the pandemic, but this is characteristic of the families and people that we meet. This wonderful family showed up, this mother and her 2 children, and we happened to have watermelon that we were providing, and it was so exciting. And the youngest child's eyes just almost popped out of his head. He was so excited to see these watermelon. And so he made his mom promise that he could carry it and pick it up and carry it. And I swear the watermelon was almost as big as he was. And so he was carrying it back to their car, and she opened the back door so they could put their food in it, and he laid as gingerly as he could the watermelon down on the back seat, and then took the seatbelt and belted it in to keep it safe.
That's wonderful.
And so, but that's what it means. Like, this food is not just, it is nutrition, obviously, for the body, but what I hear over and over and over from our wonderful clients is, this is hope. This is knowing that somebody out there cares about them and cares about what they need.
So I'll
So
kind
that
of
was
tell
one
a
of the-
similar story, right? So I chair an affordable housing land trust, and the same feeling, right? You get wrapped up in trying to help people, right? But when you sit there and they open the key to their door and their tears are coming down their thing, there's 2 things we talk about all the time. What's the 2 big things in the world? Food and shelter, right?
It is.
And we're talking about both of them right now, the food portion of it
Right.
and the shelter portion of it. But I've known about the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank forever. I did not know you deliver fresh produce. I don't think a lot of people know that. So to talk about the generation of that. So an actual truck shows up,
Yes.
and wow, that is so cool. I did not know
And
that.
we help pack the bags.
Yes, yes.
And coming to the point that you said about giving somebody hope, it gives you the opportunity to share a smile and say, hey, it's all okay. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
And you see the whole row of volunteers all working in the same spirit,
Right.
with the same message. I don't care who you are, where you are, but you're here to go ahead and
Right. Well, it's one of our core beliefs, is we're here to serve
serve
without
you.
judgment.
Yeah, without judgment,
And
exactly.
I think all our volunteers and everybody feel the same. Like, it's, as you said, sharing that smile, sharing that humanity. we're in this together.
Right.
Right. And yeah, I mean, to your point, like it's incredible. There's all these numbers, but it's about the person.
Helping
and
people.
It's about
Helping people.
Yeah.
That
it is.
smile,
That's
that
what
look
it's
on the
about.
face, yeah, totally. Because we get wrapped up in, at least on our side of it, numbers and stuff, and we're trying to say, look at the wealth creation that you're going to have, and but what they are excited about is putting their family in home, and what they're most excited about is helping somebody else, paying it forward down the road. They, the middle part of the money just
All the
happens to
time.
be that way. But I can imagine it's the same thing. The reason why Yonna does this, and we all do this volunteer work, is to help somebody to kind of pay it forward a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, how can people help, right? How can we get food in those trucks and help you get those trucks out there?
So, I always say there's lots of ways, and one of the questions I get all the time is, well, I'm just one person. How can I make a difference? Well, it's incredible how one person can make a difference. Well, I mean, and this is a perfect example. You guys sharing this time and this message and letting us get the word out. We don't know whose ears this is going to reach. Perhaps it's somebody that wants to get involved and volunteer or donate food or funds. But most importantly, it may be somebody that doesn't know that the food bank and our partners are here and they need help, and now they know where to turn.
Or they know they can get fresh food, fresh
Exactly.
produce,
Right.
not a canned veggies, but actual veggies.
Right, and actually, back to that, the fresh produce, that's almost a quarter of the food that we distribute. So
Really?
this past year, almost 30 million pounds of food we distributed through our network.
And that's interesting because by, not in it in great depth, but through Yonna's work, I'm kind of in it. I had no idea you did fresh food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 30
Did you know
million
that,
pounds,
Jerry?
but
Yeah.
a quarter of that is fresh produce.
Really?
Wh-
Wow,
Whatever
I
is
did not know.
seasonal, whatever is in season is being
Oh, no,
offered.
we work with local farmers. We work with a consortium that's up and down the eastern seaboard. But we also, again, through Feeding America, we have connections around the country. So we've got fresh produce year round, and we're thrilled to be able to.
And it's
give
really
them
good
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
really
it
good
is.
stuff.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, we would love to eat.
Yeah, well,
It's really good stuff.
And why would someone that may be struggling not want to eat that too?
100%.
So, yeah.
How about the impact on children? I look at my lens now through the eyes of my little guy who's 3. And so many children in our area, their meal is at school
Yes, exactly.
for lunch.
Right.
And with COVID impacting so many schedules and students not being able to go to the cafeteria, how did that impact things?
Hugely. So, we work with the school systems, and one of the programs that we've had for many years now is a backpack program, and this is food that's going home with children for their families to have over weekends, long breaks, summertime. We have a summer feeding program. But yeah, absolutely. So with COVID, what do? Well, again, I can't say enough about how communities stepped up, but we had to just use the famous word from this past year and pivot, and just change it up, right?
Yeah.
And we worked with different organizations, and those backpack programs became, at the school sites.
Pick it up.
Families could come and
pick
pick
it
up
up.
the food there. Or, we had so many volunteers that didn't feel comfortable now coming into the food bank or being around a lot of people. A lot of our volunteers are of an age group where this was of particular concern. So what they did instead, they got on the phone and started calling clients and saying, do you still need food? And then we had volunteers that were willing and able driving food to people's homes.
and dropping him off.
And dropping it off. Yeah, I mean, so it was just a banding together of everyone that has that heart and that mission to do this. And
I see you tearing up a little bit there.
yeah, so I warn you, I should have a tissue. I do tend to do that. This is
Great.
Doing a wonderful
That's
job.
good. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
We've done this on this show more than once. So
it's just, I am humbled. I am not, I'm not a person of few words, and I
really,
And if you hadn't
Eating a
picked
for a
up on
second
that,
there, I thought you were a New Yorker. I was like,
This is the pot calling the kettle black over here.
I know.
Right. So, my grandfather, God rest his soul, when he always just say when they vaccinated you, they used a phonograph needle, not a hypodermic needle. So the old.
You heard that before?
Many times.
Yeah, me too, Yonna.
Well, it's somebody new.
You
on
can
that set, so I'm
you
telling
can
you,
recite
somebody
it.
I
new.
love it.
Can you imagine what they do to me, Millie? It's terrible.
Oh, she'll like this. Johnny Ornelas owns 2 restaurants, Guadalajara and El Mariachi. He asked this question for you, Millie.
Okay.
He said, could something be organized with the large number of food vendors that we use? For example, we use US Foods and Cisco. So when our restaurants in the area place orders, we can add food that would be delivered to your partners and vendors straight to the food bank if needed.
Oh my gosh.
And I tagged you on this, so if you want to follow up after the show.
Absolutely, we will. I will put it out there, though. Cisco and US Foods have been really wonderful partners to us. So we do get food from those kinds of organizations, and it
What a
just takes
great
it all.
idea.
But what a great idea
that's an
that Johnny
amazing
has. So if
idea.
he orders an extra whatever,
Right.
and he can you should look into that. That
Well,
would be
I got to
awesome.
give a shout out. The restaurant community
It's amazing.
has
Oh, yeah.
Restaurant Week.
Restaurant Week,
Yeah.
exactly. And we have been the beneficiary of that, and the restaurants just left and right step up all the time, and they're on really tight margins.
Slim margins.
You think?
And the fact that they do what they do, just hat tip. Well, I'm going to take the time to segue though too, because the other ones that have done it are the realtors.
Yeah.
Well, you
They
have
step
one
up.
here.
Yeah.
Listen, this is Ray Cadell. I learned a lot about their mission last year when we were organizing the Save the Fireworks group
Yeah.
for the area. They were our partner charity.
Yep.
So
yeah.
they're watching.
Right. So, well, thank you. I mean, the car and the real
I just
estate
wanted to say
community.
Car just recently had one.
Yes,
Food drive.
over and over. Our realtors here, they care about the community as a whole, obviously, and the food bank being a part of that. And again, back to shelter and food.
Well, that's what I was
It's a
gonna say.
great, a natural connection, and
Can't separate the two.
I can't say enough, though, either. Like I said, I was warning you. I'm a person of few words, but I have been humbled over and over and over.
Did you say you're a person of few words?
She said, I'm going to
was
warn you that
My hearing aids may have missed that not part, I think.
I like you, Millie. You're getting props on the Blue Ridge feed. Then we're going to throw it here to Yonna for a question. But you're getting Ellen Butchart, Bonnie Mullen, Sarah, who helped us get everything connected, gave you the heart emojis when you started showing a little emotion there. Samuel Fuller, Mariah Rogers. Samuel says, I hope people will help the least of these in our community with food. And she says, God bless everyone. So Yonna, what is, I know this is near and dear to your heart, and one of the reasons you guys are doing this event this weekend.
Well, one of the reasons is we wanted to go ahead and make sure that we can also offer an additional source to support the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank, and I think we're in a very good spot that we can do this. I think it's quite
The
a visit.
location is
The location is perfect,
thanks.
and we're really looking forward to giving this our full effort and shot and see what comes about. Hopefully, we can make this a more regular event, depending on the outcome, and make this not just in the summer, but also during the time when it's really also most needed. Not that it's not needed now, but. We're thinking also this is in support of, as you know, I'm a volunteer with the Mobile Food Bank in Fluvanna County, which, by the way, I have to give my highest compliments. You all were out, I think, as soon as COVID was somehow manageable, you were out with the Mobile Food Bank.
Actually,
Food
our
pantry out
mobiles
there.
never stopped.
I thought
Really?
so. I
Our
thought so,
mobiles
yeah.
never stopped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the amount of volunteers was the same, by the way, it's the same.
Well,
So,
that was a huge risk on your part.
Yeah, well, we all
Kudos.
masked
Well, they
up.
had to.
We all
Kudos.
messed
I'm
up,
just
and
saying,
we all
your
did.
We couldn't
drivers
stop.
and your
Yeah, we
Our
couldn't.
drivers,
volunteers,
yeah.
and good for you.
We, I mean, we took every precaution. We had to change the way we did it.
Yes, you did.
And so it was as low touch as we could make it.
Okay, Sure. yeah.
And everybody was wearing gloves and masks.
Masks and- yeah.
And our staff, we were able to get us vaccinated quickly, thankfully. And and our volunteers could also
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that
So
too.
you were very much frontline troops on this one.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for you.
and,
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah.
doing that. So our event is this Sunday
Yes.
Yes.
over at Studio X between 12 and 3. So we're over by Brazos. So whoever's
Yeah.
listening, come on by. You can give a little bit of food, get a little bit of taco. It sounds like a disco song, right? There's some disco song in there somewhere, right?
Break it out.
Somebody knows what this is, but we can give a little food, get a little taco, and slide in a margarita there while you're sitting.
Wow, there you go.
You'll see,
There you
if
go.
you see Mr. Smith, which would be me sitting there with a cup, it's probably got a margarita in it.
I'll
But
sit
come
next
on,
to you.
please, come on by.
We look forward to the community. coming
So how
by.
can people help? How can, but they're going to come and see us hopefully on Sunday. We have an app that you guys wonderfully put together. Thank you so much for doing that. That
yeah.
folks can donate online. They can come in person. They can bring canned goods. They shouldn't bring fresh produce, right? It should be dry goods.
Yes, just non-perishable, please.
Non-perishable.
And any kind of food drive.
There was the
Yes.
big word I was looking for.
Non-perishable.
And so they can come in see us. Like I said, grab a taco. If a taco isn't, they can grab a Lampo pizza. If that doesn't work, they can go get a three notch
Yeah.
on that
Three-notched,
stuff.
yeah.
A hot chicken sandwich is good.
There you go. So now everybody knows why I wanted my office there.
Well, I was going to say,
got a good spot.
you're not sake. You got your sake.
Sake,
Yeah.
I could tell. Bashir of Bashir's on the downtown mall says, thank you for making this possible. We love the Blue
Absolutely.
Ridge Area Food Bank. Mary Francis says, thank you. This is an amazing woman right here. You have Grayson over here saying, the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank serves so many in need. Thank you for what you do. What's it feel like to have kind praise from those in the community?
You're going to make me cry. A lot
There's
of
no
people
crying
think.
in baseball.
No.
But on Real Talk,
They're real talk, totally allowed.
I have people thank me often for what I do or for what the food bank does. I have to take that mirror and shine it back because
Sure.
we are still in the water if there aren't people like you, organizations that step up and support the food bank.
Sure.
We are a community food bank, and it takes the community to do what we do, whether that is providing financial support, which of course we need, so that's one way people can help, providing volunteer help. Our mobiles don't run without volunteers. In fact, we can't run them, literally cannot run them without volunteers. So money, time, donations of food, and the other that we're doing here is giving voice, sharing the message and telling other people that we're here and we're here to help and how to do it. Going to our website, which is brafb.org, will list out all the ways you can get involved. And I think that's the best way to do it.
Bashir says, can we have a donation jar at restaurants that can help with expenses?
Absolutely.
The answer is
You
yes.
just let me know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tag you on this one too, okay?
Okay.
Not a jar, but a jar.
Okay. We've got barrels. You've seen them around town
Well,
sometimes.
as soon as I finish the show, I've got to run over and pick up
Yeah,
some.
I've got a few things for you to pick
Do you
up.
really?
Good.
Okay, we're going
Yeah.
to pick
Good.
up some
We'll-
things, pick up some barrels for folks to put stuff in.
Banner and all sorts of
bins
information
and
for you.
banner, and we got a QR.
Oh, yeah.
What do we
QR code.
Thank
QR
you.
code.
QR code.
And then so people can scan it and donate. And
Yep.
Emily's saying I've got to go pick up some other stuff after here, so I got a busy afternoon apparently. So we wanted to shine on what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank
Put you
you.
guys on the spotlight. Get you in front of some folks. I mean, it sounds like we got couple of great ideas already floating out.
Percolate.
Love it.
Percolate. One that Johnny came. I hope this can become
Yeah.
something. And then Bashir wants a big jar.
I can do that.
I'm
So-
sure
Yeah.
you have worked out your imagination on that.
So
Yeah.
is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we ask Miss Emily to come into your little seat there?
I just want to, again, I know it's, I feel like I'm hitting rewind, repeat, but I just want to thank you guys for doing this, sharing this time,
Nice speaking to you.
giving us a chance to share the message with the community that may not be familiar with us. And then, of course, the real estate community in particular, stepping up time and time again. Actually, it was Carr that stepped up and supported our mobile food pantries
Yep. Yeah.
in the middle
Yes.
of the pandemic. And I will say they're stepping up again. I have to give a quick plug. We are doing Because we've not been able to do a lot of food drives, and it's been difficult over the past couple years, and just again planning for the future. In August 7th through the 14th, the food bank is having what we're calling Unity and Community. Again, celebrating the community in which we live and that you guys are such wonderful examples of. Come out and help us. We have a goal of raising enough to provide 400,000 meals to this community, and it's a lofty goal. And I know that we have a partner that's already stepped up to provide a matching gift.
Oh, nice.
We like matching gifts.
Yeah, so
Nice.
if you give $1, you're actually giving 2, and so
good.
help us do that.
So whoever
check that.
donates on Sunday, that's $1 turning into 2. Is that what you're telling me?
No, they have to do it September or August.
They have it
4th,
during that period of
7th through the
time.
14th.
So we might just hold on to
unfortunately.
the money a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Give it to you. Hey, here you go.
Oh, did I forget this?
I totally forgot about this.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I'm always working angles.
I know you are. I like that about you, though.
Always working at angles.
For the good.
For the good.
yes.
Maybe sometimes not.
No,
but
for the good.
always for the good. I'm
When
working.
it's done for the good, you're being a philanthropist and a benefactor. When it's done for the bad, you're being calculating. It's for the good. It's for the good.
Yes, Mr. Miller. Just looking, I don't
love
know.
this guy.
I don't know. I got
That's
Mrs.
a
Smith
nice
and
way of
Mrs.
putting
Miller
it.
here. I've got Millie. Help me out.
I'm trying. I'm throwing you a bone. I'm trying.
Well, I mean, but to go back to numbers, right?
Yeah.
I just added the Shenandoah Valley and the Thomas Jefferson area. That's 60,000 a month. 60,000 people.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It
That number's too big.
it is too big.
And I appreciate the saying of trying to work my way out of business. I get it. I volunteer for this affordable housing. I'm trying to work my way out of not
Right.
having to do it.
I appreciate that, too.
But come on, folks. We need some help here.
It's it's a much bigger problem than someone not having food. There's when somebody comes to our door, they've had to face so many other hardships, whether that be, a medical issue within the family that has wiped out their savings, or, a job loss, or who knows? It could be, it runs the gamut. To your point earlier, Yonna, hunger does not discriminate. You see it's across every demographic. And so,
It's humbling.
it really is.
So, Millie, I want to thank you.
Thank you so very
By the
much
way,
for being here. Thank
by the
you.
way, last minute, and thank you. This
Yeah,
was
you're awesome.
this was a
Put on my
phone
pleasure.
call
Thank you so
yesterday
much.
afternoon. Hey, Millie, what are you doing tomorrow morning?
Like I said, happy to talk.
We're gonna drop a bunch of links in the feed,
Fabulous.
so folks
Okay.
can donate. They'll have your website. We'll do all that
right.
stuff. But I wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. And are you going to come see us on Sunday?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
tacos and margaritas promised.
Hold it.
Right?
Did I just offer?
I think you guaranteed her a margarita.
Really? Damn.
You don't
You
mind.
have it. It's on tape.
No, you know what, Millie? You come by. Whatever you want's yours.
All right.
Bashir, this is a great way to finish. Thank you, Millie, for reminding us of how everyone lives in our community. The Blue Ridge Area Food Bank is a huge asset for Central Virginia.
Very
Bravo.
much so.
Come on, you guys.
Well, we're trying to get you to cry.
You're doing a good job.
Millie, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you all.
much. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so
Thank
much.
you. We'll see you on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed. Thank
And
you.
apparently I could buy you margaritas. Just
And you're
one.
happy to
Oh
do
wait,
it.
I heard plural.
He's happy to do that, too. You are. I know you are. So what are we going to do now? We're going to get the fabulous Emily
We're
Funk
going to get the fabulous Emily Funk in here. And
of YES Realty Partners.
Realty.
Yes.
Hey, Emily.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning.
Emily Funk.
Millie,
Good
thank
morning.
you.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Millie.
Thank you.
So we wouldn't be doing this on Sunday if it wasn't for Emily Funk.
She got a fresh, fantastic haircut. You look fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that. Darn, I'm in trouble.
Well, we talked about this on Monday.
That's all right. All right.
What struck you from the interview, Emily, with the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank?
The incredible need. I mean, without having done this, I'm not sure I would have known just how important it is. So I'm thrilled to get to be a part of helping to fill that need.
So much like the phone call to Millie, hey, you want to come in tomorrow? We put this together in a week.
A little over that. that.
A little over a
We'll
week,
be
you know,
talking about
hey,
it
you
a
know,
little bit.
Smith walks into the office and says, hey, I got this great idea, bye-bye, see you later, and they go do it. But I wanted to celebrate Emily a little bit for all the hard work that she does, and then kind of wanted to pivot a little bit off of food and kind of back into the market stuff,
Yeah, let's
the
do
real
it.
estate stuff. You know, we've been talking on the show how you know, food and shelter, I mean, that's the two big things, and this is what we're talking about today. But, you know, we're going to pick up on a conversation we had with Emily some time ago, because Emily is a bit of a rock star in staging, and we'll let her tell about her 1,002 certifications I think she has on that end of it. But the market is changing, right? The market is taking a bit of a pivot. I think everybody in the real estate space is seeing this, right? And so is the folks out in trying to buy and sell at this point. So listings are increasing, right? So let's talk about how important is staging, how important is to get it done. And I've got some home renovation, home improvement issues to talk about. You didn't know this was coming.
I
Stats.
did.
Well, what do you think of the market? How about open-ended? What do you think of the market right now? What's your take?
I think that it's stabilizing a little bit.
Okay.
We're not seeing the crazy kind of feeding frenzy that it was earlier this year. So that's a good thing. Yeah, where we go from here, not really sure yet. But I think it's getting a little bit smoother for people who are out
A
searching.
little healthier?
Well, I think also a good amount of people are on vacation, which has a lot to do compared to last year, you know. So we do see somewhat buyers taking a little bit of a break and saying, okay, I need to kind of step away from this frenzy, so we can go ahead and maybe re-enter the market when it's a little bit less crazy, less dynamic, or more balanced. How about that? So I agree with what you
So
said.
there's a report that came out, Realtor Magazine, home improvement boom, right? This is now picking back up. Number one item is painting.
Yes.
Let's talk about how important that is from a stager's perspective.
That's money in the bank. I mean, it's the number one best improvement you can make to your property before you're getting ready to sell. Part of it is just to put a fresh face on your walls, because you live in a house, things get banged up and smudged, and so it's helping things look clean and fresh. But also it's a good time to neutralize, which is really important, because it is psychologically easier for someone to envision their favorite color on a wall if it's a neutral backdrop. If you walk into a navy blue room, it's really hard to imagine that in your favorite brick red or your favorite sunny yellow. So neutralizing helps people to envision themselves in your space.
Ooh, I like that word.
And
Yeah.
Neutralize.
it calms you down too. Because
Does it also help the seller kind of move their brain?
Purge?
Well, they move their brains, their thinking from a home to a house. We
house.
talk about this all the time, right? You know, currently, Yonna and I have a bit of a disagreement on should we sell our house or should we not sell it, and we will not do this live on the air.
I think we already have.
I think we just did.
my lips are sealed.
Yeah.
So seal. But
You handle it well, Yonna.
she's been handling it for
Lips are sealed.
35 years.
No.
But the reality of it is that if I change the color of my rooms and I change the color, this more neutral color, my thinking has moved from home to house, right? I'm just trying to, does that make any sense?
Yeah, you've started to emotionally detach from the
That's
space.
what I'm thinking about. So the second item on it is bathroom remodels, which I found to be somewhat surprising. Those tend to be a little expensive. Is that an important thing to look at from getting a house, ladies, ready, Yonna? What do you think?
We have remodeled our master bathroom, right?
We had to go
So,
back to our house, didn't we?
There you go. So, and the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
I
So
would definitely.
So
Definitely say that this
what
is
I'm
a
reason I'm bringing some of this stuff up a little bit is I'm trying to put a little bit of a bow to what folks need to do, and I think the market is changing where 6 months ago probably had to do nothing
You
to your
gotta do
house.
nothing.
To your house,
Yeah.
right? Now inventory's not blowing through the roof here, but it's starting to increase a little bit, and homes are staying on the market, oh my God, for 5 days or 10 days instead of 35 seconds.
What are the top 5 things you recommend getting your home ready to sell?
Curb appeal is the number one, because the money shot on most listings is the exterior of your house. So you want to have that updated, you want to have it cleaned up. It's also the spot people spend the most time in a house while they're waiting for their agent to unlock the door. Potential buyers have time to stand around and look at the cobwebs on the ceiling or the nicks in the front door or any number of things that start to trigger subconscious reactions. If they see something that's not well tended and cared for and updated, they start to think that the whole house might be that way.
You
And-
never get a second
Total
shot for a
impression.
first impression.
Absolutely. So that is the number one thing. Number two, I would say de-personalize your house. And it's not necessarily because someone wouldn't be able to see themselves living in it. It's more that it's a distraction. If potential buyers are coming in and trying to put together the story of your life with the clues you've left around family photos, your diplomas on the wall, that sort of thing,
Not looking at the home.
they're not looking at the home, and then they're not picturing themselves in it. So depersonalizing the space, some thoughtful editing, decluttering, that sort of thing. Third would be paint, absolutely. Fourth would be anything that is broken or well past its use-by date. Stained carpets, that sort of thing, because you are giving people negotiating power when they do make an offer on your home.
Correct.
So you want to take as many perceived negatives away as possible. And then fifth, I would say make sure your rooms are presented for their intended purpose.
Yeah.
If you have been using your dining room as a home office, it needs to switch back to a dining room for the time that your home is on the market.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Because everybody's zooming from home. We talk about this all the time. Charlotte's becoming, or this area, the Zoom town. Wouldn't it be beneficial to show the capacity for that?
No.
Really?
If you have a space that you can set aside as a dedicated office space, even if it's in a corner of your living room, that's great. But a dining room should be presented as a dining room so that people aren't left going, gosh, there's no room for me to have dining space and a space to work from home.
Mrs. Smith, we need to change our dining room back to a dining room.
Oh, that's not a problem. That's the
She's ready.
first thing I do.
Oh,
First thing
yeah,
I do.
How about storage space? How important is it to have storage space organized, decluttered, and
Yeah.
not just being the junk room?
It's pretty critical because that's one of the number one things that buyers are looking for is storage space. So in your closets, for instance, master closet is going to be the most important one to declutter and organize, and you want to clear everything off the floor so people can see the corners of the floors. It adds perceived space, and you don't want someone walking into your house, looking in your closets and thinking, well, if there's not enough room for their stuff, there's probably not enough room for mine either.
Any benefit to bringing like a California closet to come in and spend a little bit of money in there and kind of set it up? It depends on the house, I would
It does.
imagine.
It does. And not necessarily, I mean, if your space is tidy and organized, that's what's going to resonate with people. And then if they want to upgrade their closet after they've bought the house, that's their option.
What about, now, to get more into the systems of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, you know, if the roof is past its life, I mean, is these, I know we will recommend these things, Yonna and I, but from a stages perspective, is that something you look at, or you're kind of focusing more inside the four corners of the wall?
No, I would suggest if there's some questions about those kind of things to get a pre-inspection done. Because not only can you address any issues, you can also spin things. If it's a 100-year-old house and the floors are a little uneven, hey, we got a pre-inspection, we know it's not a problem, it's just the character of a house this age.
Interesting.
So if a roof is past its life and you want to sell the home without repairing the roof, what's the advice you're giving to your clients? Just get ready to escrow some money at closing for a new roof?
Well, I'm going to let Mrs. Smith tackle that after.
It depends. It really depends.
Why don't you tackle that first?
I mean, from a first impression conceptual thought process, if somebody has to come in there and they know for a fact that they have to shell out $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 worth of roof repairs or roof redo, I would probably either try to go ahead and talk to them about having money set aside to have the roof replaced before closing, or really be upfront about it. Don't hide it. I mean, have a discussion with the agent ahead of time to go ahead and make sure that they understand what they.
So if it's leaking, that's one thing. right?
Yeah.
If
it-
there's
that-
a problem,
that- that
if there's
needs
a
to get
problem,
fixed.
if there's a leak that needs to get fixed, yes.
But if it's lifespan thing, it's much like a heat pump,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? They only last about supposedly 10 years. We got 20 out of ours recently.
21.
Generally what'll happen is it becomes the negotiations in the price. So if you're selling a house for X and the other side comes in and says, hey, I've got to replace this, we might lower the price or we negotiate it in it. Or sometimes we price it into the price.
And
And when
let them
I
know
talk to
about it.
Jerry Miller and say, look, we've priced this, when we get into negotiations, we priced this with this in mind, that this roof needed to be replaced or this HVAC system needed to be replaced. But it's a common thing because a lot of homes now, because the fact that we're not, the new construction inventory is really good. I mean, we're building quite a bit, but we're not building enough, right? And so you're dealing with homes that are 20, 30 years old, and roofs tend to last 20 to 30 years, somewhere in that range.
This is from Leslie. She says, how does current construction keep up with new construction in a competitive market? My home is not bright and shiny like the other new ones that are coming out. It's a good question.
It is. So again, I would say reduce perceived negatives. If there is something that's clearly outdated, something that's broken, if there's some neutralizing that needs to be done. But the important thing is that a stager is trying to help create an emotional connection for a buyer. We've seen this happen in real time recently. If you create an emotional connection to a property, people will overlook or not be as afraid of perceived negatives when it comes time to negotiate things like the home inspection findings. If an appraisal maybe comes back a little bit lower than what the contract price was, people are more willing to work through those things if they are emotionally connected to the house. So helping to depersonalize and sort of freshen up a house
The answer
works toward that.
And I have to tell you,
Go ahead.
the way you have described the depersonalization, I think is really the best way to talk to our seller clients. Just try to take the emotional side out of it without really kind of impeding into their territory.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time also letting them know that you want to go ahead and present as clear of a home as possible for somebody to go ahead and have a vision.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the other component of that, this word time.
Mm-hmm.
Had lunch yesterday with a couple of builders. They're not taking contracts until 2022.
That's
now,
correct, yeah.
Right?
We're done for
Had
2021.
a discussion
Yeah.
with Stanley Martin, right? We're working with the land trust over at Spring Hill, and we've just wrote another couple of contracts, thank God for that. And my first question I asked, okay, when you got some more coming up?
Yeah.
And there's like 2 in November that they're gonna have ready. Everything else is 2022.
Yep.
So to go back to this question, if you can wait that long, then that may be the right path for you. But if you can't wait that long, you have to look at this product. Plus, there's new construction costs are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's still
Well,
a little lot of it.
Yeah,
it's
a little
quite-
lot
it's
of
still
it
quite expensive, yes.
into that. So it's time. You have to answer that question with the time factor equated into it. Anything else off the feed?
Mustache Dan Pettit, Real Estate 3.
Ah,
In bathrooms, Emily, is vinyl flooring okay? It's easier to clean and the new vinyls look great, but I'm curious on this topic.
So I guess I would ask for a little clarification. Is he talking about like luxury vinyl plank flooring, or is he talking about
Old school.
the old school?
No, I think
LVT is
he's
different.
talking about the old school.
Yeah, the
old-
vinyl.
Old
Yeah.
school sheet vinyl, 1922 kind
Yeah.
of stuff, 1980s maybe.
That's going to depend on the age of the house. It's going to depend on a lot of things. I
also
mean,
what the rest of the bathroom has to offer.
that's
Well,
right.
that's a great
Because
point
if it
because
does,
yeah.
because
you
you
don't want
put
this
a,
laughing at each other.
you don't want to put a $50,000 saddle on a $2 horse,
That's exactly
right?
right.
So sorry,
Right.
just
Yeah,
popped
if
in my
you're-
head.
If you're updating the bathroom, please get rid of the vinyl flooring.
Yeah. Do it, but don't do it. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do it, then do it all the way.
Yeah.
If you have like a new toilet, new vanity, new vanity top, then it should have a modern luxury vinyl tile floor or something.
If you're
like
Yeah.
updating it,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, if
But-
if the rest of your bathroom is roughly the same age as the floor, and the floor is still in fairly good condition, I wouldn't worry about it.
Just leave it be.
But if the idea is to present an updated, fresh appearance, then yes, it's.
But paint it though.
Paint is different. I mean, yeah, you can paint a bathroom without updating fixtures,
Sure.
and that will make it look fresher.
Sure.
But if you're going to go the extra mile to do a full update, a full remodel,
Go the whole thing, go the whole
absolutely the floor.
Jennifer
is
Jackson's
better.
got a question for Emily. What should we do with our carpets? Please ask your guests what we should do with our carpets. They certainly need to be replaced, but we don't want to spend the money out of pocket. Can we just use a carpet cleaner to get them looking better, in quotes, than they are now?
That can help. It kind of depends. If they're just aged carpets, that's one thing. If there's tears or stains, then it would probably be worth it to go ahead and replace the carpet because you're removing a perceived negative. There is a potential for not replacing the carpet to cost you 4 times. That's the lower asking price to begin with. It's possible extra days on market and carrying costs. It's the potential to negotiate for a lower price once a contract comes in.
Or home inspection for that matter.
Yeah, so if it's
Nicely said
clearly
I literally-
a
That
need,
was good.
I literally just, I've been
Yeah.
doing this for 35 years. I just literally learned
That
something.
was awesome. I know.
so if it's clearly in need of replacement, it would probably be worth it.
Well, also it has to do.
So go
like
over
you
those
said,
4 again, please.
Lower initial asking price.
Okay,
Carrying costs
Okay.
when the house may
Stays on
not
the
sell.
market.
okay,
Lower negotiated contract price.
got that.
And then having to replace the carpet anyway if the
Because
first
it's
3 things
tore or
don't.
something
Right.
like that. So carrying costs is if my house
Stays on the
doesn't
market
sell
longer.
in 1 week or 2 weeks, it sells in 30 days, I'm making an extra mortgage payment, I'm paying extra taxes, electrical bill,
Right.
that's what we're calling carrying costs.
Yes.
I just learned something today.
Well, there's a little bit
I'm
of a
going to use
challenge.
that later
though.
on today.
There's a little bit of a challenge, and I think you alluded to that too. Timing. So these days in the environment that we're in, carpets is not very easily
Oh, good point.
being ordered and
Right.
installed and stuff
Good
like
point.
that. So I think this takes a little bit of kind of thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're putting your home on the market and you know you're going to try to be on the market in a month from now,
That's not going to happen.
it's not going to happen.
You're not going to get carpet
So
people in.
I think proactively, I think this is a discussion that you may want to have with your realtor or also with your stager to kind of figure out a pathway. And in most cases, and I've seen this quite often recently happening, is that sellers acknowledge the fact that the carpet has to be replaced, and they offer an allowance. So here's an allowance up to a certain amount. We do recognize that. Unfortunately, we're not able to go ahead and put new
Couldn't
carpet
get-
in.
yeah, sure.
Put new carpet in, but this is how we would like to present this to you. So at least it's out in the open, and at least people know
Well,
how to deal
it's
with
kind of it's going to go to a roundtable that I'm putting together
Yeah.
about vocational training in our area, that we're going to have a couple of experts in those seats, that there just is not enough installers.
Yeah.
There's not enough.
There's not enough
Poor
product there
Millie
either.
sitting over here listening to this conversation. There's not enough truck drivers
Mm-hmm.
to drive the materials. There's not enough truck drivers to drive the pantry trucks. It's something that is impacting. Lumber's dropped back to pre.
No, not quite there yet.
Yeah,
Are we
it's
not
awfully
quite
close.
there?
It's awfully. I was
Yeah.
talking
Between
some.
$500 and $600.
Yeah, it's awfully close.
Is it?
It's
Okay,
only a few
good.
percentage points
Yeah.
over, not 2 or 3 times the amount. But what's not changing is that labor component,
Yeah.
that skilled health
And the supply, in that respect, is a supply challenge.
How about the power wash question that came in?
Ooh.
Go
Do you
ahead.
suggest soft wash or power washing the exterior of the home, specifically getting the oxidized dirt off our gutters and fascia boards?
Absolutely. The cleanest,
Thank you.
freshest, the cleanest and freshest exterior you can present, that's only a good thing.
I do want to point out, though, as far as power washing versus soft washing is concerned, it depends on what type of siding you have. We've
good
had
call.
instances where
Power wash damages the whole.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Unbelievably, and that is a question that I would immediately ask the contractor who you're hiring or who you're
We've seen
interviewing.
this just
Oh
recently.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've just seen this, and it's really a mess.
So what happens is with the hardy plank siding,
Yeah.
Yeah.
power.
It dents it,
No, it takes the finish off.
right?
and
Yeah,
you
it
see
does
these
some-
streaks, and now you got to paint the house.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful.
And
with
it
that.
damages the hardware on the doors.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
really
So-
you
so
really
it's-
need to-
Soft washing is now the in vogue thing. You're right.
Yeah, we have a very good contractor who actually pointed this out to us. That he said, "I'm not touching this home. I'm sorry because this has not been done properly beforehand, and I surely don't want to go ahead and make it any
Yeah.
worse. And by whatever I'm doing, I don't think I can improve it." So
let's talk
Yeah.
about soft washing. We're never going to say power washing again.
Yeah.
But
Soft washing is the thing.
yeah,
but it's
yes.
important in certain subdivisions. So let's talk Lake Monticello. Talking about getting your house ready for sale. Let's assume it's at Lake Monticello for the sake of this conversation. You want to do that on the front end because part of a sale at Lake Monticello, the homeowners association comes out and looks at the house. So if you have like mold or green algae growing on the side of your house, you're going to have to fix that in order to close anyway. So do it in the beginning. Get it done. Soft wash it. We will never use the word power wash. Soft wash it on that stuff so that that house is ready for the market. And the key to this is once we get it on the contract, we kind of want to make this as smooth as possible and not have something pop up because it may not show up in the home inspection because it's not a home inspection item, but it is a homeowners association item. So we might
It's a
as well
compliance issue.
a
It's
compliance issue that we need to knock
Yeah.
out.
The gutters are a compliance issue at Lake Monticello HOA.
No, that
if
does-
they have mold on them,
Yeah.
or if the side of the house has mold or the
Any
paint's
growth,
chip paint
any-
coming off or something
Oh,
like
because it's
that.
like an exterior look.
So it's part of the ARB, which is on that stuff. They call it an environmental control committee, which has nothing to do with the environment. I have no idea why they do it, but it's an ARB, architectural review board kind of thing.
This is one from Jonathan that may be more a question for you guys instead of staging. It is addressed to Emily. My sprinkler system in the front yard currently is not active. How important is that for me to get my home ready to sell? Emily.
What? You want to take that, Mrs.
No,
Smith?
you go ahead.
So if you have a system in your house,
It should be working.
it should be working.
Thank you. That's exactly what I
Right,
would have said.
right. If you, then.
Any system.
Any system,
Yeah.
it should be
It
working.
needs to be in operational
If you
condition.
have an alarm system, it should be functioning. If you have a sprinkler system, it should be functioning and operating. You can have it shut off, right? Because what's going to happen at the home inspection?
The inspector will not, do all inspectors check sprinkler systems?
No,
No,
they do not.
then there's
They
a
do
separate,
not.
there's a separate
And
instance.
same with electrical, right?
No, the electrical, they check, absolutely.
All systems?
They'll check them all. If they feel there's an issue, then they'll say you need to bring a licensed electrician in to check this. So what will happen in the sprinkler system, they'll say, look, you got a sprinkler system. It's not, all he'll do is turn it on. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't work, then he's going to say, you're going to need to bring in a sprinkler expert. So the best path here is get it operating, get it done, shut it down if you don't want to do it, have a receipt saying it's just been serviced, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that just came up. I think you just answered the guy's question here. Does the sprinkler system come up in the inspection? Will the inspector check to see if the sprinkler system is working properly?
I don't know how to answer that question.
It's one of these chicken and egg things, right? If there's a sprinkler system in there and there's a control system inside the house, the inspector's going to look at that and go, what does this go to? And it's either going to function or it's not going to function. And if it doesn't function, it'll end up in the report saying, this isn't functioning. I suggest you get somebody in to test it.
Well, I think it's also part of our responsibility when we go ahead and
Sure.
we interview the agent, interview the seller so tell me about your home. What mechanicals are in the home? What systems are in the home? Are they all working? How are they working? Do you have any service agreements with certain people that you're working with? So kind of preemptively take that
Well,
information.
it's an important question because if it's a failed system.
Well, the county can pop you and actually fine you
For sprinkler.
for sprinkler. If the water hasn't been checked consistently, the
Well-
Attleboro County can actually fine you for this.
Okay, this may be a little
Well,
bit different than in Flavanna
yeah,
County.
it's-
I cannot
It's
speak to
actually
that.
backflow.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's
Yeah.
it. So I put in hundreds of these. It's a little technical, but what they care about is that dirty water in the sprinklers getting back into the drinking water.
Yeah.
So they're called backflow preventers.
So it does
and-
not go
That's
back
what-
into this.
Yeah,
It doesn't go
so
back
if
into
you don't
the
have a
system.
backflow preventer, and some jurisdictions, just while we're on the subject, some jurisdictions allow you to have what's called an isolation meter, right? So let's think about this. How do you actually, your water and sewer bill, how do they figure out the sewer amount to charge you?
I'm learning right now from you, dude.
By the water.
By the water, the water
So they
amount.
double it. So if you got a sprinkler and it's connected into your sanitary or into your portable water system and has a backflow and all this stuff, and you're putting hundreds of gallons of water on there, you're getting charged for 100 gallons of sewer. So the theory, because there's no meter on sewer, right? So the theory is for every gallon of water you take, there's a gallon going down the sewer drain. So that's how they charge you. on that
Well,
stuff.
that's why at the lake, at Lake Monticello, for instance, I mean, some of the homeowners that live on the water actually have
That's right.
independent water line
suck water out of the
into
lake.
into the lake to water
Which
their
at
lawns.
some level is probably illegal, but I think that
No
probably
comment.
it probably violates some DEQ.
This
or
is out of my
EPA
jurisdiction. How about that?
All right.
It's out of my jurisdiction.
Do all the jurisdictions have the backflow detector?
Oh yeah,
They do?
it's
I
required.
think
It's
all of
required.
us.
Yeah, you
all of us
can't.
do.
Yeah, you can't. It'll unless you have a dedicated system, like Yonna was saying, that is pulling from a pond or a lake or something like that's one thing. But once it connects, once you're using city water, you don't in the county or in the country, you don't have to do this because it's well water. I mean, you should have a backflow preventer, but it's not required. But when you're connecting it to a public or public-private system, you need one.
Your fabulous son-in-law is watching in Connecticut.
Oh, hello.
Harry says
Harry.
my garage door opener didn't work when we bought the house, and I was pretty pissed about that.
I wonder who helped him buy the house.
So I was pretty pissed about that.
Yeah. He reminds us of this all the time.
Every time we hear it, yes.
Needed better real estate agents is what he needed.
I love when you watch the show, Harry. So more questions coming in. This one on the cleanliness of windows. Emily, some of our windows are just too tall for us to clean. Do we need to hire a window cleaner before the home goes on the market?
My knee-jerk response is yes, but I would say it depends. If they are visibly dirty, absolutely it's worth it to hire somebody to come out and clean the windows. People pay for light in their homes, and so if there's something blocking that, again, the perceived value of your house is going to come down.
So a follow-up question. Screens or no screens?
It depends. It looks better in photos not to have them on.
Oh, yeah.
But
So-
at the
so
same
what we're
time,
talking about-
But at the same time, if you have screens and they're not in the window, you need to let everybody know that you have screens.
Yeah, you put them in a
If you
garage
don't-
or a closet.
Yeah.
Those screens aren't cheap.
No, absolutely not. So, and the other thing is I think for showing purposes, and I do agree with taking the screens off when you take pictures, obviously. But if you have used screens, let's say on the first floor, then make sure you also have them on the second floor, so there's a conformity, so people know it's in
So
place.
if you ever go look at a model house in a development, they never have screens. They'll
No,
have them
they
in the
don't.
garage. But it's, go back to the curb appeal thing.
Yeah.
When you pull up and the light's reflecting off of the windows and it's all bright and shiny, screens don't,
No, you cannot see through it.
you
It-
can't see
it
through
dulls
it.
Yeah.
It diffuses, that's the word I'm looking for.
Diffuses.
Thank you, Jerry. It diffuses the light going through it. The chemistry word, I heard it, he was saying, diffuse stupid. I went,
This is a good one from Spencer here. We have kitchen remodel plans done from an architect, but we're now planning on moving out and selling our home. And he puts his hands up. I'll give it to my wife on that one. And then he asks this question: should we include the plans for anyone interested in buying our home?
yes,
Sure, absolutely. Why
absolutely.
not?
They may not do
Why
it.
not? They may not do it, but at least there's
But they have the vision.
sure,
Because
absolutely.
those have value. They're not cheap either.
They
No.
have value, without a
So you
doubt.
say include them.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Matter of fact, put it in the listing, put it in the documents,
Well,
put
with
everybody
the
can
seller's
see it.
approval, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But, put them in the absolutely, let everybody know, this was our vision.
Vision, there was a vision.
Good question right there.
Perfect.
What else are you thinking over there?
I like that whole husband and wife want, not one.
Well, you saw
I
me,
get the impression he wanted to stay. Spencer. I don't want to assume Spencer.
Spencer's a smart guy.
Yeah, that's what I think I just saw there. Anything else you're thinking, Emily?
Just Yonna alluded to this earlier, but if you're considering putting your home on the market, give yourself the gift of time and start working at these things a little bit at a time so it's not a mind-blowing crush right before you're getting ready to list. It helps to reduce stress, and if you're not sure where to start, a stager, an occupied stager, is a great person to contact because they can help you focus on the most important items to take care of.
And it takes the
Yes.
overwhelming feeling out of it, because that's most what we hear from sellers who have lived in a home for an extended period of time, that it's just decluttering or depersonalizing or packing up or getting ready for a move is just so overwhelming that you just don't want to do anything. So, and I think an extra objective, very knowledgeable hand in that respect can kind of pass the way a little bit, make it a little bit less stressful and a little bit more kind of targeting towards the vision of, getting it ready, making the best. But time is important.
So Emily's, I think, official title is Keep Keith Straight. Pretty sure that's what it is. But Emily's part of our team.
Yeah.
Yes.
YES Realty Partners.
And
Yes.
thank you. And one of the reasons why I was so excited about having Emily come on board with us, other than her awesome personality, and she's good at everything, and yes, can keep me. And she has how many? 3 boys.
Well, if you count the husband, 4
you got
boys.
4 boys, right? So she's used to managing me.
How old what's the age range of those boys?
14, 16, and 17.
Wow, and the husband?
He's, well, depending on the day.
One day at a time.
Emily, you're a rock star.
Can you imagine?
No.
And then me.
Yeah.
And you have not been to our office.
Oh, why is that?
No, you need to come.
Oh, we have to show you the pictures. Your middle
Middle
son is the
son.
artist.
Middle
You
son
have
is
to
the
come
artist.
by, do some really wicked cartoon. Judy, you would love this. Wicked cartoon dinosaurs. Like on my
Amazing.
whiteboards. That you know how I feel about my whiteboards.
You love your whiteboard.
And I can't use them now.
Oh, wow.
Because they got these huge
Jurassic
T-Rex.
Park.
and
We
stuff
call
like
it
that.
Jurassic Park.
But the point I was trying to get to was the folks that are on the feed and all that stuff, one of the benefits of giving us a phone call is we'll bring Emily along with us. So these questions that you're asking, that Emily will help us, help guide the conversation about, well, look, I've got to sell my house in 2 weeks or put my house on the market. What can I do in 2 weeks to help make it shine? We'll bring Emily along on the conversation because you have like 30,000 certificates now.
Or 4.
Or 4 certificates.
Mustache Dan Pettit, the realtor, says, let's not forget to clean all the debris from the property.
That's a good
The
one.
property needs to be
That's
free
a
of
good one.
debris. I see so many homes like this that have debris in the property.
I would agree
Well,
with that.
So this is really an important
Cut your
time to
lawn.
have this.
Cut your lawn. Cut your lawn. Trim
Absolutely.
your
You never get a
bushes.
second chance for a
Yeah.
first impression. So, on top of bringing Millie in and trying to celebrate, Blue Ridge Area Food Bank and what we're doing on Sunday, part of my thinking for today was, look, the market's changing. These are things that we have not really been talking about for a year and a half, right? Now, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, we need to be having these conversations. We need to be looking at the curb appeal a month ago, and this has only been changing in the last 30 to 60 days. This has been pretty quick. Now's the time to try to be thinking you don't get a second chance for a first.
You want to be a little bit more
Think of the
proactive
first
about
opinion.
it, rather than reactive. Be proactive rather than reactive.
There you go.
Great show today.
Thank
Anything
you.
else on the feed?
Nicely
Thank you.
done.
Thank
We
you,
covered
Emily.
it.
Thank you,
Good
Millie.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Millie. Millie's over there
Good job, Millie.
doing the whatever that is that you're doing.
Blue Ridge Area Food Bank.
Blue
She's
Ridge
giving
Area.
us some props here. So guys, this show is presented by YES Realty Partners. Trust the name in the game is YES Realty Partners. Emily Funk is a fabulous component of the YES Realty Partners, as are their principals, Keith Smith and Yonna Smith of YES Realty Partners.
I'm vice principal.
I think we knew that. I think we already knew that.
I don't think I'm even vice principal.
Head honcho.
I don't even think I'm the AD. I don't think janitor.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Director of Fun.
Fun.
There you
Yeah,
go.
fun
That's what we
director.
all
And
want.
margaritas apparently.
Yoga too, on Sunday.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You guys have a good weekend. Go
Thank
see
you.
these guys on Sunday
Thank you.
at X Park. Let's get some non-perishable foods.
Money.
Coming to X Park and YES Realty Partners. And yes, money.
Money's
Money
good.
works as
Money's
well,
good.
as long as canned goods. Thank you to Millie for joining us and for Judah for keeping us online. If you saw what Judah had to do before the show, you would think that Judah is the Mother Teresa of the I Love CVille Network with his patience.
He works some magic.
He always does. Judah, we sincerely mean that, Judah.
Along with Liza.
And Liza, the I Love CVille mascot, who's a rescue
Absolutely.
from Caring for Creatures in Fluvanna. She's absolutely fabulous. Thank you for joining us, guys. We will see you
What do you got at
on Monday.
12:30?
We have 3 entrepreneurs
Oh, cool.
on the I Love CVille show. We have someone from Woodridge Farm, and then 2 business owners from the downtown.
Nice.
Outstanding.
It's going to be a good show.
Wonderful. Have a great
Thank you for
weekend.
joining us on Real Talk, guys. You guys have a good morning. Take care.
Thank you.
Good job, Emily.
Thank you, sir.
Emily's always fun.